American liberal celebrities need to stop blaming Susan Sarandon for everything bad that happens. I don't know if you guys notice this on social media, but whenever Trump does something bad or whenever the Republicans do something bad, somebody, usually it's Debra Messing, but other celebrities as well, will come out and say, Susan Sarandon, this is your fault because you didn't back Hillary Clinton in 2016, and because you did that, Trump is president. So when you complain about the bad stuff Trump is doing, realize that it's your fault and that you've done this to us and you should feel ashamed. And this generates a ton of likes and retweets and comments about how Susan Sarandon sold out progressives for her ideological purity and on and on and on and on. But I just think this is so ridiculous because Susan Sarandon is largely insignificant. I know she's a Bernie Sanders supporter, she's a big celebrity, but whether you like her or you hate her, she played a nearly insignificant role in the entire process. I really don't think it mattered ultimately who Susan Sarandon supported or didn't support, or why she supported them or why she didn't support them. I really don't think it mattered. And people are blaming her because they're looking for boogeymen, boogie women in this case, who they can pawn off their insecurities on. They can project. And the reality is that Hillary Clinton lost in 2016 not because of Bernie Sanders or because of Bernie's bros or because of Bernie's celebrity supporters that either didn't back Clinton or didn't back her enthusiastically enough. None of that really was the reason Hillary Clinton lost. Hillary Clinton lost because Hillary Clinton was a bad candidate. It's simple as that. Now, Trump was a bad candidate too, so Hillary Clinton almost won. And in most simulations, she probably would have won. But Hillary Clinton was a bad candidate with an even worse strategy. The Democrats didn't understand the context of America at the time, and they didn't understand the rules of the game. Hillary Clinton ran up huge majorities in places like California, but that doesn't matter because you need to win where the electoral college votes are, and there are wasted votes in California. Hillary Clinton didn't go to states like Michigan and Wisconsin during the election. She may have went during the primaries, but she avoided some crucial states. And while maybe some surrogates went there, ultimately she didn't campaign in these places. Hillary Clinton also tried to have a strategy around winning never Trump Republicans, but those people would rather Trump than a political party that may raise their taxes a little bit. Hillary Clinton needed to do what Obama did, which was actually excite the people who don't always vote. Obama won primarily because he drew tens of millions of extra voters. And if Clinton could have done even a portion of what Obama did, she would have won in a landslide. Because it wasn't really about taking votes from Trump. It was about getting young people and African Americans and other marginalized people to those polls. Hillary Clinton would say, well, we have to get them to Pokemon go to the polls, but she didn't do anything to get them to Pokemon go to the polls. Because of that, she lost. It wasn't Bernie Sanders' fault. Bernie Sanders did everything he could. And it wasn't Susan Sarandon's fault because for the most part, people don't give a damn what she thinks. It was Clinton's fault because she didn't campaign with the game in mind. And this also ties into how the Obamas set the narrative and how the Democratic Party set the narrative. You know, Michelle Obama saying that America's already great, even though America has had generations, centuries of deep systematic inequality, and even today, America is not good for millions of working class people, especially in those Rust Belt states that Clinton lost, that she should have won but didn't because the narrative was all about how the Obama years were great, how the stock market is great, how unemployment is low, how companies are prospering. But that doesn't mean anything to communities ravaged by, deindustrialization and automation and outsourcing. It doesn't mean anything to them. And so the aggregate unemployment rates can be good in California and New York and in urban areas all across the country. But if they're not good in those crucial areas you need to win, that message is going to fall flat. Working people don't give one damn about the stock market. So you can't go to people and say, well, companies are doing well, so you must be doing well too. America's never not been great. That's why center-right Democrats lost. And this time, I'm worried they're going to make the same mistake if they don't nominate someone like Bernie Sanders. And I think Susan Sarandon is right in noting that. Now, I don't fully agree with her criticism of Elizabeth Warren. I think it's fair to note that Elizabeth Warren was a Republican, but I also think it's important to note that she has, besides Bernie Sanders, the best record out of all of the, major Democratic Party candidates. So I think that, she deserves more credit than that. But Susan Sarandon is right in noting that Bernie Sanders will energize people. And energizing those who don't vote or who rarely vote is the ticket for the Democrats going forward. They might be able to get some midterm success from flipping suburban districts. I don't want to downplay that. But at the end of the day, the Democrats win when young people and people of color and marginalized people come out to vote. That's when they win. And they win, therefore, when they give reasons to hope for those people. Obama's dream didn't really pan out. But Obama, because of the historic nature of his candidacy, and because he ran on the progressive message and a bold message, got millions of people to come out and vote for him. He didn't really deliver, though. And because of that, I think Hillary Clinton didn't have that innate kind of optimism that he did. But she could have delivered it by more directly embracing the platform of Bernie Sanders. And Bernie Sanders would have supported her. Bernie Sanders worked his butt off going coast to coast to coast campaigning for Hillary Clinton, talking about how she needs to win to stop Donald Trump. He did that. He kept his word, and he campaigned for her extremely hard. But Clinton never really embraced the lessons that Bernie Sanders taught the Democratic Party, and that the party is only starting even partially to learn right now. And that's why she lost. And all of this, whether it's Russia talk, or whether it's blaming Susan Sarandon, or whether it's, talking about how Bernie voters voted for Trump, even though less Bernie voters voted for Trump than Clinton voters voted for McCain in 2008. All of these things are done not as serious attempts to explain why Clinton lost, but as smokescreens to obscure the main issue, which is the Democrats lost because they were too timid, because they didn't reject the politics of the 1%, and because they didn't inspire people to go to the polls. And their hope today is that somebody like Joe Biden will win. He'll win the nomination and win the presidency. And they can say, well, again, in 2016, it was Bernie and Susan's fault, and it wasn't Clinton's fault. It was just, the people dividing the party hurt us. And they can say, we didn't need to learn any lessons at all from the Trump years. No lessons needed to be learned. It was an anomaly that history will forget about. That's their hope. So again, leave Susan Sarandon alone. You might not always agree with her. She might be outspoken. But ultimately, she doesn't really matter in the context of this race, and she certainly doesn't deserve even a fraction of the blame for losing in 2016 that Hillary Clinton and all of her enablers do. Let's be real about this. Susan Sarandon, it's not her fault that you guys lost in 2016. You lost in 2016 because the platform sucked, and the candidate sucked, and the narrative of the campaign sucked. That's why you lost.